There's magic in your backyard. Go and find it.
We'll head around to all the towns. Head away, holiday. Come with us, we'll take you round South Aussie with Cozzy.
Welcome to another episode of South Aussie with Cozzy. Don't tell me that we as South Australians can't go overseas because of coronavirus, because that's a lie. We absolutely can. Straight to Kangaroo Island. It is one of the best places in this whole state. So I've teamed up with Sealink to show you guys about half a dozen places over on the island that you simply must visit. And I can guarantee in half an hour's time, you'll be booking yourself a trip on the Sealink to go to South Australia's biggest island. Yep, I'll show you a swim with the dolphins, which is a must-do on Kangaroo Island. Have a look at them. Oh yeah, and is this the biggest scone you've ever seen? I reckon it probably is. I'll tell you where you can find it in KI. And we'll talk about the growing wine industry on Kangaroo Island. Now look, I've been to Kangaroo Island about 20 odd times, but this trip I discover a bay that I've never been to before, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. Away we go, my friends. The car's on the Sealink. Ashley's the ferry master, the bloke that's driving the Sealink this morning. I said to Ash, I want you to tell us exactly where we are, but you've got to keep a straight face.
Okay, we are in Backstairs Passage, the water between the island and the mainland. It's about 10 nautical miles across here, so we just go back and forth all day, carrying freight, vehicles, holidaymakers, all sorts of stuff. 8 years I've been here. It's just always something going on, lots of people that we meet. Yeah, it's good fun.
What is it people love about Kangaroo Island?
I think it's the nature. It's just the Galapagos of Australia, just a lot of wildlife, kangaroos, koalas, yeah, the scenery, the beaches, the world-class beaches, yep.
My ferry trip over was chock-a-block full of excited tourists, including these two girls, Ashley and Tasia.
We just had a few days off work, so we figured we'd come, and got a puppy now, so it makes it a bit hard to go anywhere else. We were really excited to see that Sealink was pet friendly. It made it really easy to come over.
I didn't actually know that Sealink was pet friendly, and the people on the ferry were like super pumped to be able to bring their dogs. Please remember though, no dogs allowed in the national parks in Kangaroo Island. That's a no-brainer, but there is a dog boarding facility there in case you want to be like dog free for a day. Something else you could do is grab a feed of oysters whilst on Kangaroo Island, on part of the island that many people overlook, the fishing village called American River. The good news is it's only 30 minutes from where Sealink lands in KI.
Sometimes poor old American River misses out on a bit of publicity, and in actual fact it was the birthplace of tourism on Kangaroo Island, and it used to be the honeymoon location, so a lot of grandparents out there probably had their honeymoons here. We're oyster farmers on Kangaroo Island, and we have a farm gate outlet which is called the Oyster Farm Shop, where we serve our fresh oysters basically straight out of the water, shucked and put on your plate. We do a daily tour. It departs at 10:30 each day, and it's a walking tour. It goes through the life cycle of the oyster, the native bird life and flora, and how we actually farm the oyster. There's a shucking demonstration and a tasting, obviously, of a fresh Kangaroo Island oyster.
A lot of people say they're aphrodisiacs, but my missus doesn't seem to think that. And I eat enough every day, so hopefully she gets to see this one.
You need to give her some.
Yeah.
The biggest struggle is finding staff. The island is growing. We've got lots of really good businesses here, wonderful wineries, wonderful food businesses and producers. We want people to come over here and have a change of lifestyle and enjoy what we enjoy. So yeah, come over. Come and get a job with us. The Oyster Farm Shop.
It's puns aplenty on Amanda's Oyster Farm. You ready for it?
The best one is licensed to shuck. I did think of that myself, but we've also got shuck off. Can I turn around?
Sure.
Shuck, yeah. And Cozzy, what about one for your wife? I couldn't be shucked.
Hey, I'll do the gags around here.
South Aussie with Cozzy. South Aussie with Cozzy.
Welcome back, South Australians. Hey, who says you can't go overseas? South Australia, Kangaroo Island's calling your name. A short trip on the Sealink and you're exploring an island that's actually bigger than Singapore. First stop for these girls is obviously going to be the hairdresser. Man, there'd be some knots in there now, wouldn't there? If you're going to come to Kangaroo Island, then you're going to need somewhere to stay, and this is the epicentre of accommodation. There's about 4,500 people that live on Kangaroo Island. This is Kingscote, and it is the biggest town here by far, in fact. These people behind us here, they're at the Ozone Hotel. They're celebrating a 120th birthday. Well, actually, to be fair, it's two 60ths combined, but it equals 120. This place has 77 rooms that you can stay in. And the cool thing about it is there's a whole range of accommodation. Plus, the pub is just there. So you can stay over there, like these guys are, give us a wave, and grab a feed or a drink. Easy.
So we are located about 45 minutes from the boat here in Kingscote. We've got pretty much anything for anyone, ranging from our family rooms to our executive sea views and our penthouses, townhouses.
Yeah, she's bang on. The rooms are great and the location's obviously a cracker right by the ocean. But the thing that takes me the most about this place is the fact that, like, literally everybody inside this establishment is happy. They're all having a good time. The vibe of this place is unbelievable.
It's just a really great environment. The atmosphere in the bistro, in our lounge bar that was newly renovated during COVID. At the Ozone, we're really proud of our menu here. One of our specialties, everyone's favourite, is definitely the lamb shanks and any of our seafood items.
I mean, seriously, have a look at Kangaroo Island. This place is awesome, but the reality is that not many people from South Australia have actually been over here. Now, I've brought so many first-timers to KI, and they all say the same thing. Oh, I can't believe I waited till I was 40 or 50 or 80 or 90 before I actually came over here. And they all say, I'm going to be coming back in the next 12 months. If you've never been before, move it higher up on your priority list.
Their experiences on the island have been better than when they've travelled overseas. The environment and the atmosphere on the island is just something that's blown them away.
Kingscote's the biggest town on Kangaroo Island, but if you're looking for somewhere to stay that's a little more isolated, then try Emu Bay.
So Emu Bay Holiday Homes is a property that's very peaceful and tranquil. It's set back a little bit, so that gives us exceptional views over Emu Bay, and it makes it really private and peaceful. We've had lots of visitors that found us during COVID times when they could only travel in South Australia and have never been here before, and they've lived in Adelaide their whole life. I spoke to guests recently on the beach and they said they travel all over the world, and walking on the beach at Emu Bay was one of the best beaches they've ever been to.
People always say to me, where can I go and stay in South Australia with a large group of friends or a big family group? Well, this place has 8 different styles of accommodation, which holds a truckload of people. You can book the whole place. And out of all of them, Renee's favourite is the big one. Look at it here, right up the top on the hill, overlooking Emu Bay.
We're standing in my favourite place called Amani. This property has exceptional views over the bay. The kangaroos will come and drink water straight out of the bird bath out the front. The birds just put on a show in the bird bath in the morning, as will the echidnas.
How seriously cool is that? Imagine sitting in your accommodation, looking out the window and watching echidnas drinking. Oh yes, please. How good would that be? Especially if you had like an ant problem around the barbecue. Very handy. Now, whether it's a hotel stay in Kingscote or a house in Emu Bay, you can book tons of accommodation on Sealink's website. They've got loads of accommodation, from hotels, luxury retreats, bed and breakfast, and caravan and camping options as well. It's all ready to book at sealink.com.au.
South Aussie with Causey. South Aussie with Causey.
Welcome back, folks. Everyone always says to me, I want to go overseas, but I can't. Well, do it in South Australia and do it in Kangaroo Island. The Sealink ferry runs every day, 365 days of the year, from Cape Jervis to here in Kangaroo Island. Now, I used to be a truck driver. Well, I had my license since I was 18, and this used to get you a woot woot. See if it works on the ferry. Ooh, his feet's not as big as I thought it would be for a man with such a big boat. Anyway, the ferry is running all the time. It's the best way and pretty much the only way to come over to Kangaroo Island. Once you get to the island, you instantly start unwinding. Basically, all that ferry does is take stressed out people from the mainland, bring them here to KI so they can completely de-stress, and it'll take you back a brand new person. Wait till you see the next place I want to show you. Sealink, of course, gets you over to Kangaroo Island, but they also are your one-stop shop for all things KI. I'm talking about bus tours, accommodation, experiences, packages. At sealink.com.au, they have everything you could possibly want for your Kangaroo Island holiday. With KI, I reckon you got to allow yourself a minimum 4 days on the island. It's massive. Remember, it's bigger than Singapore. It's far too hard to do in a day. Also remember, folks, and this one kind of makes me chuckle, you got to book your Sealink holiday. I mean, you can't just rock up and expect to get on the ferry. Some people actually do that. So make sure you go to sealink.com.au, get your trip sorted, go to KI, and you'll be like, I should have listened to Cozzy years ago. This place is beautiful. Rusty, I told you I don't like steps, and I won't film unless... Hi, look, we are only 15 minutes off the Sealink, and we're here at Pennington Bay. Now, I've been to Kangaroo Island, I reckon, probably about 20 times in my life. I'm so lucky and blessed. I have never been here before. The guys from Sealink said, you been to Pennington Bay? I said, nah. So they said, you have to come. And I can see why. It is absolutely beautiful. Let's have a look at a map. This is the narrowest point of Kangaroo Island. And I reckon sometimes we're guilty of driving past some of this cool stuff to get to the main part of Kangaroo Island. But you've got to stop here at Pennington Bay. 15 minutes from the Sealink, we've already seen kangaroos, a massive goanna, and a seal as well. But I encourage you all not to just look at the wildlife, actually get in and get amongst them. Kangaroo Island Marine Adventures is an absolute must-do. Dive with the dolphins. I mean, how good does that sound? Andrew's one of the best tourism operators that you're ever going to come across. What does he actually do? Well, let's ask him.
Well, we offer a coastal experience that's, I put it as second to none, Cozzy, yeah. Yep. It's just an experience where you get out, you get into nature, basically. Yeah, we sort of leave from pristine Emu Bay or other places on the coast and get out here and catch up with our marine wildlife. Big focus is on our dolphins, so we catch up with our dolphins. We also catch up with some seabirds, some raptors, some ospreys and some seagulls, but the highlight of our trip is a swim with the wild dolphins. Here's one of our local dolphin pods here, just coming in now, coming in to see us. They're pretty happy with us. So they're on their morning jaunt. They've just come in from their nightly fishing expedition and they're coming in to have a look at us. So that's all good, yeah. So these guys are completely wild. We don't feed these guys. There's no need to feed these guys. They are completely, as I said, completely wild dolphins. So they're here by their own free will, which is good, really good for us. We don't want to feed them.
Come to Kangaroo Island without doing this to it. It is simply unbelievable. It's a little bit cold in here, to be completely honest, but they do give you the option of a wetsuit. The dolphins are phenomenal. My mate here, Clarky's too scared to get in. Come on, Clarky. Oh my God. Let me down.
South Aussie with Cozzy. South Aussie with Cozzy.
SA, I want you to support KI. Kangaroo Island's had it super tough. First, the fires wiped out like half of the island, meaning all the tourists, of course, left. And just as things started to get better, bang, COVID. So let's all jump on the Sealink and get ourselves over to Kangaroo Island. The Sealink ride over here is an adventure in itself. The Sealink skipper, Ash, well, he knows just how good the ride is.
We spot dolphins, whales, tuna this time of the year. The kids are so excited. You know, you've got to remember, we're used to this, but kids don't ever come on boats, and it's a real adventure to just go over across the water to the island, and yeah, they'll remember it for life.
If we were talking about wines and wineries in Kangaroo Island a couple of decades ago, to be honest, the conversation would have been pretty short. But in the last 10 years, the wine regions in KI have just grown flat out, including this one. It's one of the new ones, False Cape. And if you come to the island, you've just got to come here. And an easy way to do it is to do what these guys are doing. It's called the Sip and See Tour. It's a Sealink tour. It's a 1 day or a 2 day. You jump on a bus, they take care of everything. You just rock up and drink. They've been to distilleries and wineries. They're having an absolute ball. You could be doing it as well.
Started over 20 years ago when my father said, why don't you plant some vines on KI, and he picked up out the soil and the block for us, and we've been growing the vines and the wine for 17 years, and then we've finally got our act together and made a cellar door. Hello, welcome to the Sealink Sip and See Tour, and welcome to False Cape Wines. At False Cape we have our Captain Cabernet Sauvignon, has won Kangaroo Island Wine of the Year a couple of times. Yeah, we're becoming quite famous at False Cape for our red wine beef pie, which is made with our ship's graveyard Shiraz, and also our chicken and leek pie. The other offering we have is our deluxe platter, lots of different variety on there, and people are always photographing and saying that's the best platter on Kangaroo Island.
South Australian family-owned businesses. You gotta support them. And over here in Kangaroo Island, there's a ferry load full of them, including the Lavender Farm, which is not that far from Emu Bay.
Hi, I'm Sophie from Emu Bay Lavender Farm. We're a mother and daughter team here with my daughter Eliza. Love to see you here. 4th generation islander, come and visit us.
Well, if she's the mum, I must be the daughter. Hi, I'm Eliza and I love working here at Emu Bay Lavender Farm. Working with Mum here at the Lavender Farm can be interesting at times, but lavender keeps us nice and calm and relaxed.
Lavender's a beautiful calming herb, so it's been used for centuries. It helps with sleep, so you can pop a little bit under your pillow or a little bit of lavender oil on your temples. Just gorgeous to relieve stress and anxiety as well.
Here on the farm we have 12 different varieties of lavender, which we hand harvest using a sickle.
The Emu Bay Lavender Farm is a cracking joint, and I love the fact that it's a mother-daughter team. South Australian business, and they're the ones you need to support. I also love they've been so kind to me because it's the 10th year of South Aussie with Cozzy on Channel 9, so they've actually put lavender in 10 different things. How cool is that? They didn't actually do it for me, it's just what sort of panned out. They have 10 items and I just made them. Anyway, let me see if I can remember them, see how good I go. Okay, they've got lavender shortbread, lavender cookies, lavender biscotti, the lavender scone, lavender butter, lavender jelly, lavender ice cream. All this stuff's made on site. Lavender gin, which I just missed out there. They've got lavender tea, that's 9. And I've got this, it's edible lavender. So you can actually just eat it. They reckon eating this lavender gives you a real calming effect. I think they're right. Lavender makes you calm. I might get a 50-kilo bag for my wife.
So when you come to Emu Bay Lavender, you've got to try our homemade lavender scones.
This has got to be the biggest scone I've ever seen in my life.
So they're about the size of your face, and they're served with a beautiful lavender jelly and homemade jam. Something we're really proud of is our breakfast. So we use lovely local produce in that. We use the local eggs from Kangaroo Island free range eggs, the sourdough bread which is baked on site. People say they don't even get a good breakfast like this in Melbourne, but the business has just grown and now I have 3 chefs. So who would have thought people love lavender so much?
Well, that wraps up our trip in Kangaroo Island. We're back on the Sealink. Gussie boy, hit the drawbridge, brother. We're going to get out of here. If you've never been to Kangaroo Island, or maybe it's just been a year or 2 since you've been over, please come over. Remember, Kangaroo Island is not just one of the best places in Australia to visit. These guys have also battled the bushfires and coronavirus. So tourist numbers declined, and now they're back thick and fast. The Sealink, that's how to get here, and the trip itself is just so much fun.
South Aussie with Cozzy is proudly brought to you by the South Australian Tourism Commission.
South Aussie with Cozzy.
I like possums.